I've never really had issues with my eyesight. Not the kind people usually get glasses for, anyway. I mean, I'm not blind. I can read just fine, draw detailed portraits, recognize faces from across a room. But for some reason, everyone around me kept insisting, you should really get your eyes checked. Friends, teachers, even my mom. It became kind of a running joke. Like, yeah sure, I'll get glasses when pigs fly. But nothing ever looked blurry to me. So why bother? Still, a couple of weeks into summer break, my dad suggested we go together to get our eyes checked. It was more of a bonding thing than a necessity. He needed a new pair, and figured maybe I did too. I figured, why not? At least I'd stop getting nagged. When the results came in, I was floored. Turns out, my eyesight was worse than my dad's, laughed, called me old man on the drive home. I was still processing the news. It felt like a weird kind of betrayal, like my eyes had been lying to me this whole time. Anyway, we picked out our glasses. Nothing fancy. Black frames. A bit nerdy looking, but kinda cool too. I didn't put them on until we got back home. And when I did, I saw the world like I never had before. Not just better, clearer. Details I didn't even know I'd been missing. The grain of wood in our kitchen table. The texture of the carpet. The individual leaves on the neighbor's oak tree outside the window. It was like someone had turned up the resolution on my life. That night, after everyone else went to bed, I stayed up, like I always do. See, I'm kind of a night owl. Not just during school, when I had homework piled up past midnight, but even now, on summer vacation. The house gets peaceful at night. Quiet. Just me, my pencil, my sketchbook, and the faint bossa nova playlist I always have running. I like to draw portraits, realistic ones, usually of friends. That night, it was Catherine. She's got this face that's... well, let's just say, if someone told me angels were real, I'd think of her. I pulled up a reference photo and started sketching. With my new glasses on, every detail stood out, every eyelash, every curl in her hair. It was coming together beautifully. Then, around 1:20 a.m., I heard it. A soft rustle from down the hall. Now, that wasn't unusual. We've got rats. I've never seen them, but I've heard them. At least, that's what I told myself all these years. A few rustles, a creak here or there, I'd chalk it up to the rats or the house settling. But this time, something was different. I looked up from my sketchbook. For once, I didn't just glance down the hall. I really looked. And with my new glasses, for the first time ever, I saw it. And it saw me. Standing just beyond the kitchen doorway, peeking around the corner, was something wrong. It was shaped like a person. But it wasn't one. Its skin looked cracked and dry, like old leather left out in the sun too long. It was tall, maybe 6.5 feet, but so thin it looked like its bones would break if it took a step. It didn't have eyes, not really, but in the sockets where eyes should have been, there were deep, black voids. And somehow, I knew it was looking directly at me. The worst part, the smell. Even from across the hallway, I could smell it like burnt matches and rotting meat. Like someone had struck sulfur in hell and let it float up through my house. I couldn't move. Couldn't blink. Couldn't breathe. I reached for my phone with shaking hands. Dead. Of course it was. Figures, right? I turned back, and it was still there. Still watching. Not moving. Just waiting. I thought maybe if I didn't move, it would go away. That's what you do with wild animals, right? Stay still, don't show fear. But I was afraid. Terrified, actually. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure it could hear it. Then it did something I'll never forget. It smiled. Not like a friendly smile. Not even like an evil grin. This was wrong. Its mouth stretched wider than it should have. The teeth were yellow and jagged and rotting, like it hadn't eaten anything but bones in years. I wanted to scream. But I didn't. I couldn't. I just sat there, frozen, gripping the sides of my sketchbook like it could protect me. Then, the nightlight flickered. And went out. Darkness. Total, absolute darkness. I jumped up, knocking over my stool, heart racing I scrambled toward my bed. Nearly tripping I dove under the covers like a scared kid, glasses still on, sketchbook still in hand. I stayed there for hours, too scared to look, too scared to sleep. Eventually, I guess I did fall asleep. I don't remember when. When I woke up the next morning, everything was normal. The hallway was empty. The kitchen was quiet. My family was up like nothing ever happened. I asked if anyone else heard anything weird during the night. They all said no. Later that day, I went back to my drawing, the portrait of Catherine, and I noticed something strange. In the far corner of the sketch, just behind her, in the shadows, I'd drawn something. I don't remember drawing it. I swear I didn't. But it was there. A figure. Tall, thin, hollow-eyed, smiling. I don't draw at night anymore. And I never take off my glasses. Not because I can't see without them, but because now I see too much.